And let's welcome, is this Miss Genevieve Goings?
Yes, it is. Hello.
Hello, welcome to Totally Driven Radio. Did you like your Diet Pepsi lesson of the night?
Oh, I'm never drinking that again. Thank you. Actually, I didn't drink it anyway. I just go for the full-on Coca-Cola with that.
So you're hardcore then. You just go right for the good stuff.
Well, you know what? For me, I'm actually more so coffee, cappuccino, latte girl. I'm not so much soda, but not that the latte cappuccino is any better for you.
Yeah, they're
not.
Just like what are you supposed to drink? This is my question. Can somebody answer me this question? I'm trying to figure this out myself, and I'm being dead serious. Like, if you want to drink like a cappuccino or a latte, it's like 300-400 calories, or it's got this in it, it's got that in it. Like, everything's bad for you. Like, what are you supposed to do? I guess that's why I say drink water, and they sell bottled water, and they make millions of dollars off it.
Yeah, they do. I know. Drink water and all of that. And then, if you want coffee, how about just walk down the street maybe and go get some and then walk back, and then you'll burn it off and enjoy. We can't just kill ourselves just eating twigs and berries. That's what I say. I think live a little, move around a lot.
That's a good one right there. Very good. I like that.
You can listen to Choo Choo Soul CDs and dance your calories away. Now I'm a saleswoman.
It seems like that's what you do, because when I was going and watching stuff on YouTube of you, it's like you don't stop on that show.
I know, and I would like to personally thank caffeine. No, I'm kidding. No, I love my job. It's incredible. I can't even believe I'm still doing it. It's been almost 10 years. It's amazing.
Yeah. Like, all right, as I always do, let's go back to the beginning.
Yes.
Of your early childhood and all that. Like, your family was musicians, so I guess that was like a huge influence on you.
Definitely. Yeah, my dad was in a band called Santa Esmeralda, which they toured around, all over. They were in France. They were in South America. They even did some Middle Eastern stuff. Really great fun in that kind of disco meets cha-cha era. Really fun music. And he's actually reunited the band in what's called Generation Esmeralda now, and so they're touring like 30 years later. It's amazing. They just got back from Brazil, and it's really cool. I know. So I've got music in my life. My mom is a singer as well, and she so there was definitely music going on, which was cool for me, because when I wanted to sort of treat this as an actual career, they believed in it as an actual. It wasn't like, okay, but what do you really want to do?
Yeah, that's like what I got, because as I was growing up, like I wanted to be like the quote-unquote rock star guitar player, and my mom just was not seeing it, and it was like, no, like you need to go to school, you need to get that thought out of your head.
I know, I understand that. So that's the difference. There's the whole I want to be a star thing, and then there's the I have to do this because it's just in my blood, in my soul, and in my head, and I've got to get it out. I have to do this. That's sort of where I am with this. Obviously, I'm not in it for the rock star status. I am dancing around in a polyester suit, for heaven's sake. But it's
See, so that was the difference between me and you then. You actually had the music in your blood, and I wanted to be a star, and this is why you're dancing in the polyester suit and get paid to do this for a living, and I don't.
Oh my gosh! But hey, you still can. Not to say people shouldn't chase their dream of rock stardom, but definitely going into it for the fame is not going to work usually.
Yeah. Where were you 30 years ago?
30 years ago, I was in Redwood City, California, which is a suburb of San Francisco, and I was, I'm dating myself now, but I'm not one of those Hollywood starlets that lies about their age. What was I doing 30 years ago? I was watching Sesame Street, and I was thinking to my baby self, I'm going to do that one day. Oh, my goodness. So fun.
I guess early on you had more of a hip-hop background is where you were going with everything?
I sure did, yeah. Yeah, I did. I was my first my first experience in the studio was singing rap hooks, they call them, the choruses on rap songs, hip-hop songs, and there's quite a few things out there that's kind of like, oh, I hope no one finds that. Hope that song doesn't surface. But I did a lot of that stuff under the alias Viva, which was sort of my character name, which sometimes I revive the Viva character when I'm, when you've done the ABCs, like 1,000 times and you think, do another rap song here. But I have to use the alias now. But yeah, no, I started with hip hop, and what was really fun about that was the freestyle element. We used to have a lot of clubs and events in San Francisco that involved freestyling, which is, coming up with the lyrics as you go off the top of your head. Some people call it rap battling. I wasn't really battling.
Right.
I think I sort of won the quote-unquote battle just because it was like, oh, it's a chick. This is great. But it was just really fun. I sort of started as an introvert in school and slowly, I don't know about introvert. That's not true. I have some of my friends listening like, what? No, you weren't. But let's just say I kept those goals and dreams inside of myself until later. After I graduated high school and was into college, then I started going into studios and really unleashing that. And, the hip-hop community and just the hip-hop as a genre it's the one genre that really embraces all different genres within it. I mean, you can take a jazz horn player and a salsa guitarist and put it all together on a hip-hop song. So
right.
It's a really cool place to start. It's easy to get sort of branded as that as a result, kind of on the flip side. But, yeah, it was amazing, and I think I brought some of that urban flair to Choo Choo Soul as well.
Yeah, that's like how does you go from doing hip hop to becoming like Miss Choo Choo Soul with the how do these worlds collide?
I know, it seems like I know. Well, through recording, I've always sort of loved the theater aspect of performance and that whole theatrical vibe. So I would bring that to a lot of songs. And through that, someone at a studio I worked at had heard of a voiceover audition for a video game. And they were looking for a female rapper, actually. So I auditioned for that. It was called Toe Jam and Earl 3.
Okay.
That's an old video game, kind of a cult classic now. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Mission to Earth.
Yay! Oh, my gosh. Wow. Well, I auditioned for the character Letitia, who was the lead alien, but I didn't actually get that part, which I love this part of my story because it begins with not getting a role that I auditioned for. Kind of a nice story beginner for a lot of people who are trying to make it in this industry. That me not getting the part led to my success. But I didn't get that role, but I ended up doing some other character voices within the game, one of which was a set of gospel singers, and they only had spoken lines in the game. And so I asked the creator, his name's Ben, who is a genius and just totally awesome guy, I asked him, hey, why aren't the gospel singers singing? So this page of lines, I was like, why don't I sing these lines instead? And I just kind of belted out some crazy stuff, and he was like, I love it, let's do it. And so I ended up singing and throughout the game, and it just we developed this great relationship, and where he unleashed the idea that he had brewing inside of himself, which was Choo Choo Soul. His son, who was 4 at the time, loved trains, and he's like, I have this idea for a really cool kid CD. Would you be down to do it? I was thinking, well, I am an R&B singer. What? I've sold hundreds of CDs, and I've made tens of hundreds of dollars. I couldn't stop now. No, so I thought it was fun. We just kind of went in on it as this fun little project, and that was Choo Choo Soul, and that was about 9 years ago. And we made a CD that has it's gone and flourished into the little train that could. It's really cool.
That's so crazy. So it was just a complete accident, and all this success for you happened.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it was an accident in that I wasn't looking for it. And then, but you know, these little doors open and paths, they turn, and, you know, you've got to be willing to turn with them. It was one of those like, hey, do you want to come in and record this whole entire album? I can't promise you anything. But if it does anything, I'll split it with you. It's like, sure. I was thinking to myself, like, it's going to do anything. Yeah, okay. And then here we are. I've dedicated my whole life to it. I love it.
You're still doing stuff in the R&B and hip-hop world, right? I think I remember something that was back in August with DJ Weapon at Yoshi's.
Oh, yeah, yes. That's awesome. Yeah, so in that way, sometimes I will, if it's, you know, the right fit and everything, because I have to be super careful now, you know, as I should be.
Right.
It's a big responsibility to do what I do, even though my fans are too young for Twitter and Facebook. Somebody asked me the other day, why don't you have more followers? I'm like, oh, well, my followers don't have the fine motor skills yet to follow me on Facebook. No, but that I do still dabble when it's for fun. It's definitely a good time, but I'm definitely committed to children's entertainment and am totally happy and absolutely ecstatic about that. So when I get a chance to do some grown-up stuff, yeah, I totally do it. But my focus is on kids' entertainment.
Yeah, because I guess you had the song "Baby." Was that just one song you put out where you had the video for a couple years ago?
Yeah, yes, it was. Yes, I know, it was so funny and crazy. And yeah, just for fun. I think it's wonderful that we're in this generation now where we can put out one song by ourselves and just throw it out there and say, here you go. Because at the time it wasn't like I wanted to do a whole CD. I just sort of had this great song and said, why not? It would be fun. And again, I have that theatrical side to myself, is sort of fancy myself a strange comedian, Willy Wonka-Vive.
Yeah, because it's like, I guess with the whole internet, like years ago, you never would have thought, like, if this was like, I guess in the 80s, say, and you were doing Choo Choo Soul, like that would be it. Like it's almost like you wouldn't be allowed to be creative in any other area. But now,
right,
you can, and like things have opened up, like you can do other things.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, part of it is just taking yourself too seriously or not taking yourself too seriously. I think, you know, to look at, just watch 5 seconds of Choo Choo Soul, you can imagine there's people that love it and think it's amazing, and then there's people who, like, despise it, you know? And it's just, you just kind of got to roll with it. It's like, look, I'm a crazy grown woman here who's dressing like a train conductor, dancing around, having a great time. So you must know I have a liveliness about myself. You must know I have a sense of humor, you know, so I can show it. And the thing about it is parents, just because you have kids, it doesn't change who you are as a person and what you like to listen to. It's not like, well, now that I've had children, I only want to listen to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star every day, and I no longer like funky music, you know? No, parents we're all, you know, parents have to listen to it too, so it might as well be fun. Well, I feel like I've connected with a lot of amazing people.
I was going to say, like, we've had a couple of the guys from Imagination Movers on over the last few months.
Yes.
And they have a tremendous hardcore following. And it's the parents.
The Mover Mamas. Absolutely. They're... Well, yeah.
And it's going to lead into another question I'm going to ask. Do you have the same type of following, where do you have a lot of the parents that are really into you?
Yes, I do. I wouldn't say I have as large of a following as the Movers, but I do. I have a following of amazing, supportive, excited people that, you know, they've obviously found me through their kids. Because, you know, when your kid likes something, it means a lot to you. You know, that's your baby. And to reach out and be able to actually have access to that actual human being in that costume and realize that they're into what they do and they love it. I mean, I think that it makes it fun for parents to follow that journey, because there's so many artists out there that kids love that are just kind of wilding out, going a little crazy. So,
well, the funny thing I had to ask. The funny thing I had to ask was, as I was preparing to do this interview, I would Google you, and you know when you put something in Google, the top searches will come up. So as I go to type your name, one of the top searches that always comes up was Genevieve Goings hot. So now I'm going to relate it. I'm going to spin it the other way from the movers, where they got the mover mamas. I was wondering. I just kept picturing like a bunch of fathers sitting there with their kids watching Choo Choo Soul.
That's funny. That might be why they changed my costume from the first season. I had an open collar and I was dancing around. Now the second season, I was tied all the way up with a tie, less lipstick. That's funny. I love it. I get some cool comments. It's fun, it's flattering. Like I say, I'm covered up to my neck and my wrists and my ankles. I mean, if people think I'm hot, I'm completely flattered, because that means somewhere between my neck and my forehead I'm doing all right. Oh, that's so cool. Funny. That is so really
okay,
funny.
So with Choo Choo, go ahead, Nick.
Well, I was going to ask, you're working with Fisher Price's Little People as well, right?
Yes,
and
I am.
You did some scoring and some technical work? Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, I started working with them a year and a half ago on the Little People brand. And the Little People are the little toys. We've all known them. They've been around 50 years. And they started out as the little peg people that were in the fire trucks, and they've since evolved. Absolutely adorable. They're so many kids' first toy and first play set, with the house and the farm, and they have so many great, wonderful toys. It's so cool. I've gotten to work with, the cream of the crop. I feel like Disney is just at the top, and then Fisher Price, which is just the top of the top in toys. It's awesome. So I was so honored they asked me to produce the music on their new brand overhaul and kind of give it a hip and fresh sound, just on this brand refresh that they were doing. So it's amazing. I wrote a theme song. I wrote a bunch of songs introducing their newest characters. People were familiar with the Little People a lot. I mean, everybody knows the Little People, but the plan this time was to connect them to actual characters and know the characters' names, and add some more media. They did animation. There's stuff on YouTube. Maybe we can share those links later. If you go to the Fisher Price channel on YouTube, they have their new videos, and all of the songs are written and produced by me. And these are the new songs. There's plenty of songs back in their repertoire, but these newer songs were written and produced by me. And there's also a webisode for the Little People. And I'm the voice of the teacher, Miss Hug.
Oh, wow.
And wrote the theme song, and scored the episode as well. So it's really great. I'm very involved musically and even beyond musically, I've been involved in the brainstorming meetings throughout this whole brand refresh. So it's really amazing and such a great career step for me too, just to really move into being known, as a musician, and because I won't look this way forever. It's already starting to slip.
And for you guys out there listening, I shared the Little People Place the Flower Power episode on the Facebook page, so if anybody wants to check that out, it's up there now.
Yay. Please do let me know what your kiddos think and what you guys think. It's really fun and very sweet. And has since inspired me to put out my own kids' CD, which I'm working on now. I'm actually at the studio. I stepped out for this call, so it's sort of a bit of exciting news right there.
Well, let me ask you, is this the big is this the big exciting project that we saw with the glam hair? It is. Okay.
Yes, it is. Yay. So much fun. I've been working with Disney for so long, and Fisher Price now, and we've got a song about just about everything there is out there. But there are a couple more topics left, so I wrote songs about those. There's some for everybody. It's going to be really fun and exciting, and sort of like the baby video. We'll see where it goes. I have people asking me, so are you looking for a deal, or do you want to? And I'm just thinking, I want to write these great songs, and let's see what the people think. It's again the beauty of today's world is I can actually do this myself and see where it goes, rather than waiting in the long line at the record label and having them pat you on the head and go, well, we'll call you. Now I'm like, I'll call you, maybe. No, no, but it's amazing. It's really fun. I'm very lucky to be able to experience it from both sides, with having 2 records with Walt Disney Records with Choo Choo Soul, experiencing that, which has been absolutely amazing, and then now trying this independent route and seeing how that goes. And they're all different, so nothing is competing with anything. It's sort of just a bunch of good, pure, funky stuff for your kids to listen to that won't drive you crazy. That's what I want to leave behind in this world, kind of like the Martha Stewart of children's music. I don't know. Let's just say the Genevieve. The next girl can call herself the Genevieve of her day.
Oh, that's funny. Now, how about are you guys doing any tour dates as well?
Yeah, so we're going to be, Choo Choo Soul will be in Miami at Dade Cultural Center on October 26th. I'm going to come back to L.A. and do a couple songs at the L.A. Cancer Walk the next day, October 27th. That's more just to warm everybody up. Some kids come out to the L.A. Cancer Walk as well to support their families, and they have their own little fun run. So that'll be really great. And we're working on another date in possibly on the East Coast for Christmas time. We're still holiday time. Sorry. And
so what's it like when you're performing for the kids, though? I mean, it's got to be like deafening having all them kids screaming for you.
Oh, it's amazing. I was hooked from the first time. First time I think it was 7 years ago, or six or 7 years ago, the first time I ever performed with Choo Choo Soul live, and I was hooked. It is just amazing, because if you picture yourself walking on a stage, you're about to do some R&B, hip-hop music, so you think about who's in the crowd, and, there's people looking you up and down. Okay, what's she wearing? How much does she weigh? Is she single? What does she do? Where's she from? Who does she think she is? Then there's kids who are just like, yay! I mean, if they don't like it, they'll tell you as well, but it's a whole different world. I mean, they're as excited as you want to get them, and it's amazing. I love it. It's so much fun, and just to connect to them and see their little faces, and for them to see me, and it's like I walked right out of the TV. It's an incredible moment in their lives. I also have we have a P.O. box. I'm kind of jumping around, but we just got a P.O. box because I have a bunch of photos that I'm just going to keep sending out till I run out of them. If anyone wants a signed Choo Choo Soul photo, you can send an self-addressed envelope to P.O. Box 6307, North Hollywood, California, 91603. I can send you that again. So if you send me an envelope with your kid's name on it and your address, I'll send you back a picture, because all this stuff is so exciting to me. I can't believe I'm still so into it this many years later, but I truly am. It's really, really awesome.
You can hear the enthusiasm in your voice about everything.
Yay! Well, it's true. It's funny. It's like it's not anything I thought I was going to do, but yet it's totally perfect for me. I really belong in this. Same thing with the Imagination Movers. I mean, they're such great guys that truly love what they're doing, and that's why they're successful. I've met other people who the minute they start to kind of get tired of it, I think is when it starts to slow down. I'll know if I see people, this is way earlier in my career, but, sometimes people want to do more than, quote, just kids music, and that never works out. It's just like all my friends and buddies that are in the kids music now, they are all about it. It's like we all really love what we do. There's some great music out there for kids, and we're all just digging it. I think we're all just like, is this really what we do for a living? This is great.
Yeah, we didn't have that
with
luxury
social
when we were
media, no, it's true. And with social media, we get to connect. You know, parents can actually let us know what they think. You know, it's really cool. It's a great era. Although I'm scared for all these kids having Facebook and Instagram as they grow up. But other than that, there is a great thing about it. But yeah, it's really fun. We have a blast. Who did you have on your show from the movie?
We had Rich on back in, I think, March when he was promoting his solo release.
Yeah.
And then we had Scott on like a month ago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those guys. They're so great.
And you know what? And I said the same thing to both of them. And I'm going to say it to you, but I'm going to now that you just said what you just said, I said to them, my initial thinking of, like, when I was looking at the Imagination Movers, I was thinking to myself, all right, here's this band. Were they like a band beforehand? Were they trying to make it and they didn't get discovered and they thought, like, all right, let's try the kids route and see what happens.
Right.
But it wasn't the case. And exactly what you said, like, they're good guys and they love what they're doing. And it's kind of like yourself where you can hear the enthusiasm behind everything you're doing and you're so proud of what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they're definitely, they definitely feel the same, for sure. I can vouch for that because I know them personally.
Yeah, I mean, they're great guys, and they like you, very enthusiastic and very happy with what they're doing. Where you would think like maybe somebody that's doing it, they're not too happy because they're having to appeal to kids, but you guys are having a blast, and you can hear it in your voice.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's a wonderful industry to be in, and you know, new fans are born every day, baby. just when some of them are growing out of you, there's more coming on down the line, ready to dance.
Now, will there be any more new shows?
New shows on Disney Junior?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We'll see. We always sort of wait to find out. I don't think anyone expected Choo Choo Soul to go on this long. It was really just going to be 5 videos back in 2006 that were just little fun interstitials, and it just kept rolling. It's amazing. People really liked it. So we'll see. We just did remakes of Disney classics for Disney Junior, the channel, and we have a new CD out, which is the Disney Favorite CD. So that was really fun with singing along to all those great classic songs. And so we'll see how that goes, you know. Some people are touchy about their classics. They don't want them fussed with, you know, which I get that too. But it's really fun for someone who's 2 years old, kind of cool to have the magic train conductor from TV introducing you to Mary Poppins by singing Supercalifragilistic, and then she can go watch Mary Poppins and, you know, love it just the same. So there's definitely a route there, but it's so fun. I mean, I can't believe I got to sing When You Wish Upon a Star. It still stuns me. I still can't believe it. But
that's like an honor almost.
Oh my gosh, it is an honor. Absolutely. It's pretty amazing. I try not to cry every time I sing it. Is this really happening? This is really happening. Let's go. You know, I might have thought I would be wearing an evening gown or something while singing it, but it worked out how it was supposed to work out. I love it.
Now, what about the Happy Hearts Club? Are you still doing that as well, or?
Yes. You know, I'm so glad you asked about that. Thank you. You really know your stuff. This is cool. The Happy Hearts Club is something that I created with 2 partners that is I basically noticed while doing Choo Choo Soul shows live that I can say jump and they will say how high, I mean literally. And so I thought, oh my gosh, with, you know, all kids needing exercise and everything, wouldn't it be great to do some upbeat, fun kids exercise music? And so I went on to create this great concept for a TV show, which in my creative mind, what I came up with was very expensive show. And so as I sort of went on this whole, like, big, huge television show pitch, I think that I just had this giant idea that now I needed to scale back and say, okay, if we need kids to work out, let's just start with actual kids. The show will come if it is meant to be. So from that, what we did is turned it into a community outreach program, and it's sort of two-tier where the Happy Hearts Club is a club you can join, and older kids, like the tween-age kids, can lead younger kids in a series of workouts that are just these, great upbeat songs, which I love to write and produce. So it's just great music, and I'm starting small now with just doing it in communities and signing up kids to join the club. And eventually I'm looking to partner with a bigger organization, who focuses on that, because it's hard when you're super creative and you're coming up with all these great ideas, and then suddenly you sit down and you're like, I don't know how to create an app. But it's such a great idea. So
you mean to tell me with all the money Disney has, they can't get an app for you?
Well, they could. They could if that was their brand, or if they wanted to buy the brand from me.
Right.
They could. But just because I'm on Disney doesn't mean they support every single thing let me rephrase that. They support me incredibly, but it doesn't mean every idea I come up with they're going to fund and take it to the moon. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's all got to make sense. They are the bosses, and they know.
Let me ask you this: with the holidays coming up, do you guys do anything special musically for that? Any, Christmas CDs, anything like that? Sort of reinterpret any of those songs?
And that's such a great question. I did sing a wonderful song for Disney Junior, the channel, that's called Magical Holidays. They play on Disney Junior. If you guys watch Disney Junior, you actually hear my voice way more than you might think. I sing all of these little songs in between about taking a nap and bath time and wiping your paws, as well as the Disney Junior theme song. There's also a Boo for You Halloween song on Disney Junior that I sing too. But as Choo Choo Soul, we haven't done any holiday songs, but it's a great idea. It's really sort of, and we always think of it, in October, and it's like, that's way too late. You have to. It's those summer days when you're at the pool that you need to start writing your holiday music. So next year at the beach, I'm going to set a reminder in my phone right now. But the good thing about that is I don't think I'll ever stop making children's music. It just depends who wants to listen to it, I guess. So I'll definitely cross that bridge one of these days.
And like you said, there's new fans being born every day.
So true. I know. And it's just it's my job to move forward with the times enough that I can make music that they'll be happy to listen to in lieu of the other songs that we don't want them to listen to yet. So I need to catch their ear with something current, but keep it clean enough to still be right for them. So that's sort of the balance that I'm trying to perfect.
Now, do you think that's hard to perfect that balance with, trying to stay content strong and stuff that kids really want to listen to and be modern, but also kind of keep that family-friendly content that, of course, you want to keep with the kids? How hard is it to sort of find that line?
Right. It's definitely, as a whole, it's definitely a hard balance to find in general. For me personally, it's been my career is built on that very thing. So for me personally, in my own Kanye West moment, I am good at that. I can do that very well. So that's sort of what I sort of would like to be known for. That's exactly what I'm shooting for, is to be one of the ones that is good at that. So because I've worked with Disney English now for 5 years, which is a school in China that teaches English as a second language using the fun kind of pop American style music. So that was my, crash course in this whole thing, because I had so many guidelines to follow. There was, okay, we need a song about this. We need you to mention these 10 words, these 3 phrases. Here are the list of American words that they know. Those are the only words you can use. Make it rhyme, make it sound like Aladdin, and make it good. It's like, okay, here we go. And I've done that over 100 times for them. So that definitely got me ready for, you know, I've written a song about a stomach ache and the whole nine. So it's funny.
As a person who is involved in, like, the children's, you know, Disney World, and your show is a positive show, it's a learning show, do you look at something like SpongeBob and just cringe?
Oh, no, SpongeBob is amazing. I love it.
Really?
You know, it actually, what's funny about that is I think in the beginning, I might have, when you're first starting out and you get like a little bite, then you think, well, I should be doing huge things. I should be the best in the world. You know, it's kind of like that everyone in LA needs to wake up in that way slowly, where you're like, okay, calm down. There's a million talented people out there. But the thing is, I think a lot of times people overthink things so much that it loses the fun. I mean, it's just the fact that you can be that wacky and wild. It's like he's a sponge man that lives underwater and all these crazy things happen. And watch a kid watching SpongeBob cracking up, then you're like, okay, this is great. So I actually love it. I think it's great. There are other acts that used to be kids' acts that start growing up and then they act in a way that I don't love. This is my politically correct way of talking about Miley Cyrus. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I love SpongeBob. That's the end of that.
That was another question I had. Like, as a former, what do you think of your former Disney star now?
I know. You know, I was behind her on the haircut, the look. To be honest, the VMAs, I mean, it was just whatever for me. I don't know. I didn't feel one way or the other. I mean, it was entertainment. But then now she's glorifying, you know, the drugs. That's the part I don't like, because kids really are looking at her and looking up to her. And, I don't know. But again, it's just one of those overexposed youngsters. You know, I don't know how much we can expect them to make great decisions. I don't know why so many people feel the need to rebel against a clean image. I'm not sure where that comes from. I guess it's youth, you know. Luckily, I was already old for Hollywood when I got on TV, so I never had to go through that. But
yeah, it's actually like a shame. Like the video for her new single, whatever. What is it, Wrecking Ball? Like, she didn't need to be on this ball naked.
I know.
Like, it kind of ruins the song. Like, if you close your eyes,
and
it's
you
like,
wonder, what
song.
do you do next? I know. What do you do next? I guess next you pull off your skin and show your skeleton. I'm not sure what else there is. I don't know. I don't know how long it can last that way. But on the flip side, I can't take my eyes off her when she is on TV. I mean, she's entertaining. It would be cool if she had come out of nowhere as this person, but you know, we do know her from before. And kids know her, and kids, you know, 15 years old loved her when they were little. Now they really relate to her because they grew up together, and if she's doing these drugs, then I'm going to try it too. You know, that's the part that's just
Right. As a matter of fact, before we went on the air, a friend of mine had posted on Facebook and said, kind of defending Miley, saying something along the lines, you know, what's the difference between when Madonna was doing Truth or Dare and stuff like that back in the day and Miley now? And my answer was, well, Madonna was Madonna from day one. Miley was this little child Disney star that everybody knew as Hannah Montana, and it's a big difference.
I know. And
that's exactly what I was going to say, is that it's not necessarily the behavior that sort of turns me off there. It's the fact that I have an 11-year-old daughter who was a fan, and you know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago went to a concert, and she had a good time listening to these songs that were about, you know, you could be president, you could be Superman, you could be anything you want. And then to just 4 short years later, where there's songs about drugs and sex and stuff like that. These bands are still around, and you're right, they still are impressionable kids. And the content has changed so much that that's, I think, what's really the problem with, parents and stuff, is that they can't believe how dramatic it's changed.
Right. Well, it's true. And, I understand from a human being standpoint, from a woman, I mean, when you grow up, it's tough. If somebody, makes you act a certain way for many years, you want to rebel against it and show, that you're different and you make your own decisions. And I get all of that. It's just, again, the responsibility that comes from having kids watch you. It's a responsibility that needs to be noted and respected. It seems like I never even even if I'm wine tasting or something, I won't even post that on anything, Like, come on, guys. I don't know, but we're two different people. I mean, I'm on a smaller scale, and she's got her own reasons. I guess I do love her song, and I think we'll all get over the shock soon and move on. She sounds really great now. She's sounding amazing live and all that stuff, What are you going to do?
we'll move on to the next person that's trying to shock the world, and we'll forget about Miley.
Yes.
Oh, well. Well, this has been a fun time. I want to thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This is really awesome. Thank you so much.
We learned a lot. We got to learn the world of Genevieve and Choo Choo Soul and all the things you do, and you're a busy bee, and it's good stuff.
I am. Well, it's awesome, and just be sure anyone reach out to me on Facebook or Twitter, all that good stuff. I always love to listen and hear what people are up to and what songs they wish existed out there for their kids. If you want to tell your child something, just let me know. I'll put it into a song and put it out there for you.
There you go. To give you new topics that might be needed that haven't been covered yet.
There you go. I've got some good ones on this new project, but there's always room for more.
Can you cut a quick ID for us before we let you go?
Absolutely.
This is Genevieve Goings of Choo Choo Soul, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
All right. This is Genevieve Goings of Choo Choo Soul, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Genevieve.
Hey, thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Take care and get back in the studio and make some good music.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Take care. Bye. All right, everybody. That was Genevieve Goings of Choo Choo Soul. 2 out of 3 down with the ladies now, Nick.
Yeah, that was a really fun interview. You know what I mean? There was actually a lot of ground to cover, and yeah, man, absolutely wonderful.
Look at that! It was surprising. It was we had Christine Aerosol. We were a little scared, and Genevieve Goings with Choo Choo Soul. We didn't really have too much knowledge of the whole Choo Choo Soul world, but we learned a lot.
Absolutely.